These are blueberries.
Oh, yeah.
All right, these 3 rows here are Australian blueberries. We have a few berries on them. We're not sure of the timing, but I think they're a little behind ours. We grow all our blueberries in pine bark mulch. That's to keep the acid levels up. We feed them 5 times a day with enriched water, liquid fertilizer. We're just gonna walk right back to here, okay?
And how long does it take when you plant, say, the seed for the blueberry, does it grow into the bush?
We don't plant seeds. We plant a bush, a new plant.
Okay, well, how long does it take from that to when they start producing?
Well, this was 9 months ago. They were this tall, and now they're producing.
Okay.
In the first year.
So pretty quick.
First year. Yeah. So all these back here are Florida blueberries, and you can this block and that block over there, and we're planting the rear block now. You can see we've got blueberries coming on. I picked about 6 of them yesterday that I found ripe out here.
Here's a green one, Michael.
Yeah, I see. That's what he's showing.
There's lots of little patches.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, see, there's some more back here.
How long do they take before they
It's about 3 weeks once they start getting on there before they ripen up.
So these are different stages.
Yeah.
So
they all come in different stages. They'll keep blooming for another 4 or 5 weeks, and then we'll just keep getting berries.
So we're pretty close to the season then for when you can pick them.
This is the season.
Okay.
This is the season.
How's the freeze? Is that what it does?
When it gets really cold?
Not so much. Probably just shedding. You know, they're probably just shedding a little bit here and there. They're getting plenty of fertilizer. So another thing is they're full of bees right now. So the bees are pollinating them. They also have to pollinate the oranges. We have our own set of bees. Doc Holliday does not do bees. I don't do bees, so we're not going to go see bees.
What's that over there? The green.
Those are green beets.
Do you keep bees here?
Yes, we have our own set of bees out there.
So you have several like beekeeper who handles all that?
Yeah, I don't see on the average a beekeeper gets stung 5 times a day.
Yeah, there's a bee.
Now there's an average. That's an average, okay? So to get an average of 5, one day he's getting stung 10. Next day it's 3, maybe the next day it's 8. That's way more stings than I want to have, okay? So I don't do it. I have a beekeeper that keeps the bees.
Oh, I see what that red thing is.
That's a drip emitter, yes.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure what that was.
That's just a Home Depot drip emitter. Nothing special.
Oh, this is interesting.
We had strawberries out here before. All of them in stacks like that, hydroponic. But we couldn't keep up with the insects. We don't spray the pesticides. So we were trying to do it organically with the oil and soap. It didn't work. They just kept eating us out of house and home. Then one year we had it set up pretty good. We were going to get probably a lot of berries, and then we had a freeze.
Is he picking blueberries?
He's probably picking blueberries.
Now, what's the life expectancy of a blueberry plant or bush?
It depends on how much you feed them. It depends on the weather. It depends on the variety. There are a few different varieties out here. Most of these are emeralds. Those are another kind of there. I don't know what they are. And these plants right here, they're about 4 years old. These outside ones.
Can you trim them?
They're not doing too good.
Do they get trimmed out?
Yeah, we prune them. We prune them in about August. We prune them.
Okay.
Cut them back. You see how we cut them back. You can tell where they've been cut. Yeah, we prune them back pretty good. But these are old plants. These are probably going to be the last year. We just kept these kind of for ornamental purposes, really. We'll pull them and plant new ones. They're in big pots too.
Yeah, but look, you still got them.
Yeah, it's still coming.
Still.
Yeah, they're still coming.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so let's head back to the cart. Blueberries, you have to have like 10,000 blueberry plants in order to get a transfer of taste to honey. Not so much of the oranges though. You get a lot of good taste transferred from oranges. So We have an orange blossom honey up front we sell. It's our honey. We get from the orange tree from the bee.
Okay.
Did you say you have your own honey?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Huh. That's interesting.
We also raise cattle. Now our cattle are in our other pasture. We have to rotate them because they're grass fed. We don't feed them any grain or hay or anything like that. And the other thing we feed them are the orange peels. After we squeeze orange juice out of them, we feed them the orange peels. They're usually out here. This is the main pasture, but they're back over there. They go. We shoot them down.
Coming here.
Huh?
We see them coming here.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're right down there. Exactly.
So are they used for end up using for meat?
I'm sorry?
Are they end up being used for meat?
Well, we process 3 of them a year for our season, and we sell that up front. Most of the rest of the calves go to the farmer's market, and they end up really on other people's farms.
Okay.
I'm sure some of them are processed, but I think most of they like the. See, we have a Charolais bull, and the females are Brayford. That's a Brahma Hereford mix, and so those little calves are really good, strong calves, and people like to keep those kind in their herd.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they process the males, because you really want a thoroughbred you want a solid male bull. Impregnating your females. You don't want a mixed breed. You want it on a good solid breed, and a Charolais is a good solid breed. He's a real big white guy. He's got like 23 girlfriends. Hey,
Like a Harlem.
I guess. That sounds like a headache to me. But anyway, the oranges, the trees in Florida, we're battling a bacteria. It's called the citrus greening disease. This bacteria came from China. One of the first signs of this disease is a leaf that looks like this. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You see how it's yellow streaked, not really the good and dark green. Thin foliage is another sign. Green fruit, fruit staying green, that's another sign. This bacteria is carried by a bug. This bug lands on the tree and starts feeding on the tree. It's really microscopic, and it kind of digs into some of the leaves, and it lays larvae as it goes. Can't hardly see it, but this bug will die off eventually. Okay, and it transfers the bacteria to the tree, and the bacteria ends up settling in the roots, and it decays the roots, and that's where it does the damage.
And what do you do to take care of that?
No, you don't. You can't take care of it. There's no cure. It's killed 70% of our trees in Florida. We've lost that many trees, that much fruit. There is one treatment for it. You can, what I call over-fertilize the trees. We used to just fertilize the tree maybe once a month, but now we're fertilizing them once a week with strong liquid fertilizer. And what that does is when the bacteria dies off and the bugs die off, the tree gets a break. So if you're feeding it fertilizer, it starts coming back, and getting healthier. And the foliage will start turning green, and you'll get more leaves and new growth. And so you do that to pump the health of the tree up, so that when this larvae hatches and these bugs start feeding on the tree again and it reinfect the tree, it can sort of take the hit. It's going to take the hit. It's going to take a hit. And it's really sad what it does to a tree. And some of the older trees, this is a pineapple tree, a pineapple orange variety. It's a little less sensitive to it. It can kind of take some of it if you get it through the first few years of its life. It'll take some of it, as long as you really pump them up with the fertilizer. But a lot of the other varieties are real sensitive to it, and they will not take hardly any. It'll take 2 or 3 years and they'll be dead.
Does it affect lemons and limes and grapefruits too?
It will affect any citrus, yes.
Your oranges are all sweet.
Yeah, we got some really good
samples,
pineapples this year. These are pineapples. And some of our Honeybell are really good now. Is there any navels left up there?
I think I saw some.
Yeah, the navels are really good this year too, but they're not as many. Not as many red navels either, but they're really good. we're losing a lot of those trees. See how yellow that tree is on this one side?
Yeah.
See how yellow it is? The roots on that side of the tree are probably damaged really bad.
So when do you start regrowing young trees? When the older ones die off?
Yeah, that's when they start falling apart and die off. See, these trees are starting to
Yeah, they're
bloom.
blossom.
They're blooming.
Yep.
That is next year's orange. When the bee pollinates that, or however many of those blooms, buds he pollinates, there'll be probably half of them stick. That takes a year to grow an orange.
Okay.
And by the time you first plant the tree, when does it start producing usually?
You get a 3 to 5 year window on that. Just depends on the variety. It takes at least 3 years to get decent fruit on it. It'll grow some immature stuff, but
If these freeze, do they still regrow the next year?
will they what?
If you get some of them freeze because of real cool weather, do they?
Well, we haven't had a freeze this year, and if it freezes, it can get down to about 28 for a few hours, and the tree can take it, but the fruit can't. All right, so yeah, the trees are gonna make it, but the fruit won't. It'll freeze inside, and it'll ruin the fruit, and you have to get it right off the tree, right in, and take it to the juice plant right away, or you lost your crop.
Okay.
Bees are out there.
Oh, that's where they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, say hi. Wave at them.
I
All right,
will.
now say bye. This is as close as we get to bees, as far as I'm concerned.
You got honey with a cone in it inside your.
You can, yeah, we have some like that. Or we did have some. I don't know if there's any left, but yeah, we did have some with
I
the.
used to like that, but now
With
it's just
the,
wax.
yeah, man, that's good.
I know.
It's good.
Now, isn't it true that basically the fruit is basically the ovary of the tree
No,
because it has the seeds?
no, this is almost a seedless fruit. Navels are completely seedless. No, that's not how you do it. I was fixing to explain that part to you. You can plant the seeds in the ground out of an orange, okay? And it'll grow a tree, and that tree will grow up and produce fruit, but it'll be sour
Okay.
and inedible. You have to graft those sour trees. In other words, you take an existing pineapple tree and you cut a piece of the bark off of it, and then you'll cut a piece off of that, that tree, so that you can graft that bark to that tree, and you wrap it. And then you prune it regular. You have to prune it, keep the sour sprouts, keep them pruned off, and it'll take about a month on a small tree to take it over.
And do
You can do a full-size tree in 1 year.
Do you do that here?
No, they do that in the plant nursery. We don't do that. That's way too much work, bro. We don't have enough people to keep up with that. All right, so these are pineapples. You guys want to get off for a minute, and we'll look around, and I want to find an real ugly orange. You can stay on the cart if you want.
Okay, I can hear you though. And what I miss, I see.
Okay, so let me find a real ugly orange. I want to find an ugly one. Oh, that one fell right off. That must be meant for me. Okay, so you see the brown stuff on this orange?
Yeah.
That's from a rust mite. It eats the acid off the peel, but it doesn't do anything to the inside. If you spray the trees with sulfur, you can get rid of that little mite, and it'll clean them up. But 90% of our fruit in Florida is sold for juice. So we really don't need real pretty fruit. We'll grade out the real pretty ones and put them up front, and the rest goes on a juice trailer. Or the rest will go to a wholesaler. They like to buy them. So we just need this fruit to be juicy and to be sweet, okay? So let's just see if there's any juice in this orange. I'd say there's a little juice in that orange,
Little
right?
juice.
You want to try a piece?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep. I'm ready to get my hands
Here
juicy.
we go. I've got something to get that off you. You ready with the camera there, bud?
Sure.
All right.
Oh God, that is so good.
Mm-hmm. That is good, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that good?
Very good.
Yummy.
Want
No,
that piece?
give it him.
One?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got a wipe here. Hang on.
Wait. I always come prepared.
Okay. Okay.
That is so good.
How many varieties of oranges do you sell here?
Oh man. Depends on what time of the year it is. Right now we have navels, I think there's some red navels up there. Honeybell.
Got any?
There's a
blood oranges?
temple. We don't have any blood oranges.
Okay.
Thanks.
There's some temples. There is some. There used to be pages, but they're gone. And I think there's some pomelos up there.
So those big yellow ones?
The big yellow ones. Those are pomelos.
And you grow them here?
No, we grow them in another grove. This grove doesn't have them.
How
No, they're not that sweet. They're not that. They're not bitter though. See, a pomelo is an original rootstock tree. In other words, actually, I don't want to.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to offend anybody, but whatever you believe back in the day, created, or however this all came about.
Okay.
That was one of the trees that was an original. That was just there. Okay.
Okay.
Starts from there. Most everything that you get now has started from a pomelo.
No.
And we got those from China.
Okay.
Way back in the day.
These aren't from China, are they?
No, we grew these, but originally we didn't have those over here. We got them from China. We did. A lot of citrus varieties, these original rootstocks, come from China. I think most of it was over there first. None of this is native of our country or of our continent.
Does the pomelos take extra long time to grow because they're bigger?
No, not too much. They are less acidic than a grapefruit. Okay, and so they're a little sweet, but they're really smooth. Really good for you if you can't eat grapefruit. I like them.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one.
I like them.
Yeah.
Because they're smooth, and I have acid reflux problems, so I have to minimize my citrus intake. I mean, I can come out and eat a few pieces on the tour, but that's about it. I can't drink the juice, not in any quantity, but I can eat pomelos all day long.
Okay.
Because they're less acidic.
Yeah.
So I keep a couple at the house all the time, and there's a lot of fiber in them, so that's good for everything.
And how long have you been working here and working with oranges and all that?
This is my 6th season. I was pretty new. 5 seasons ago. Yeah.
Now these pretty much will stay almost most of the season, and then they get picked, or?
No, what happens is they're all really dark green for most of the year, and they're just growing. And they're real dark green. They're not sweet, not real good and juicy. They're just in the process of growing. It's a very slow process. And as the rain comes in the summer, they start filling with juice.
Okay, right.
We get a lot of rain down here, right? In the
Right.
summer, right?
Yeah.
So they start filling with juice. All right, so they don't get sweet, really good and sweet, until we have a couple cold fronts.
Oh.
And then that sweetens them up. It puts them like in pump sugar mode. I don't know. They start pumping sugar to the fruit.
So they all went to golds after
And
that.
then once that happens, they start turning. If we get they'll start turning a little bit once we get a good little 40-degree night or two. They start turning, and then when you get a few little 40-degree nights, they all do this, and then they're ready. Now they've been on the tree like this for about a month, and so they're starting to fall. So we're either going to have to come out and pick them. We need to come pick them, or we're just going to let them go. We've picked half of them so far, so we're going to come out probably next week. I don't do that. We have a crew that does
You
that.
got a few big ones here and there.
Yeah, the big ones kind of suffer more from that greening. They don't get as juicy. Some of them are kind of dry on the top side from the greening. I guess it's just because of the damage to the roots, and it can't pump, enough of the juice to the bigger ones. But all the small ones always are full, not dry at all.
Well, that tree's a little yellow.
Yes, it is.
Full right now, but
Yeah, it's yellow though. We haven't fertilized in about 6 weeks. Try not to do that too much when it's cold, because they don't really absorb it well. It's kind of a waste of money. But it's starting to warm back up.
never knew that.
We need to run a batch through. We'll probably do that in a couple weeks.
Now you got something here where you take them in, you separate them.
We
You do them here. Or you do
we
it
have
else?
a machine that we run them through and clean them up, and then we wax them, put a coat of natural wax on them, and that stops them from going bad quicker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
And if you refrigerate them, they'll keep for a long time.
It's
months.
You got lemon
months.
trees?
Lemon
Just
trees.
oranges.
These are oranges. These are all pineapples.
Okay.
Lemon trees produce fruit all year round, where you only get one crop out of this variety a year.
Okay.
I have 3 lemon trees, but I don't think you've ever seen lemons like these. I promise you've never seen a lemon like this one. We're fixing to go around there and see them, okay?
Okay. Okay.
All right, you guys ready?
Okay.
All right, so now you're just about back on the cart. I probably ought to tell you, we do have lots of snakes out here.
We have a snake.
Okay, so you're not scared of snakes? That's cool.
No.
But we do have black snakes out here. We have to, because if we didn't, the rats would run us out of house and home.
Yeah.
They love the fruit.
A lot of times the snakes are more afraid of you than you are.
Oh, they're afraid of us. They don't come. They won't stop.
No.
Are those like those southern black racers?
Yes. Pretty snakes. Real pretty black, shiny snakes, you know.
Yeah, they're pretty.
But I don't really care for snakes. I mean, I'm not afraid of snakes, but I'm not a friend of a snake either. I've handled a few snakes in my
We
time.
haven't been bit yet.
I've been bit, you know, handling garter snakes and stuff like that. Catching them when I was a kid.
Just don't fall.
Yeah, you don't pull back. Of course, that's the first thing you do when you're a kid. Is,
Yeah.
And then they get you and rip you open a little bit. But, you know, I'll leave the snakes alone.
Oh, I see a couple big ones.
Yeah, we have a ball python at home.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Pythons are a little different than black snakes, you know, racers. They don't move fast and they're pretty docile, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty laid back.
Yep.
What do you feed them, rats, mice, what?
Rats. He
Rats.
only eats live rats, nothing
Yeah.
else. They're very picky.
Yeah. Okay, so these are our peach trees.
Oh, yeah.
We chop them, we prune the inside of them so they grow in a bowl so we can harvest them from the outside. You can see little peaches on them.
There.
Yeah, they're blooming. They do not have to be pollinated by the bees. They self-pollinate. These are UF1s. That's the University of Florida peach tree right there.
See the,
About 9
see the
years
flower?
old.
That's a blossom of a peach.
Yeah, I see.
Yep.
Now, when's the season for them?
April and May we picked these.
So you had them already. Oh, no. Wait.
Coming up. Don't say that, because we're done after May. After the peaches are done, we're finished. We get laid off and have to go find another job. Don't say that yet.
Oh,
I'm not quite ready for that yet.
Okay.
My bank account ain't yet. You ain't quite ready for that yet.
Oh, see these?
All right, so see all these trees with sleeves on them? These are the new variety that is greening proof. Bacteria
These are oranges,
proof.
right?
They're oranges, yeah, they're
Yes.
EV1s and EV2s. That's an early Valencia. They're genetically similar to the Valencias that we normally used to have, but they're supposed to be bacteria proof. And so they're not growing quite the same. Look at these two little mourning doves. They're not quite growing like the other Valencias did, but
that one didn't make it.
we'll see, yeah. And so they look a little different than I'm used to. I planted 500 of these page trees, these mid-sized trees, 5 years ago. When I first got here, the first year I was here, I planted them. And we lost quite a few of them to the greening. But these top 4 rows, 5 rows did really good as far as the fruit goes.
Look at this one.
But the bottom rows of the pages didn't do any good at all. They were real dry inside. So I don't know what happened. The greening got to them. See, that's a page orange right there. I don't know why they didn't take
there's
that.
a couple baby oranges there.
Yeah, well, that's a Honeybell and a Clementine crossed pages. Really premium fruit. Very, very good. But they're an early variety.
Now, are the peaches, are they more,
They're yellow peaches.
do they fight off the seeds more than the oranges, or is it about the same?
The disease?
Yeah.
No, they don't
any
get the disease.
Any diseases?
No,
They get?
no, they just get fungus. If they get a lot of fungus, we'll spray them with a fungicide, but that's it. No, not any diseases on our trees. That's just a citrus disease, the greening.
Oh, they got a lot.
Now, you'll see that there's a microjet at each tree and there's poly tubing everywhere. That's the irrigation system and that's the well. That's the water source right there.
So that's where you control it from?
That's where we turn the pump on. That's the diesel motor, and then that green dome-looking thing is the pump, and then the tank is where we put the liquid fertilizer, and we inject out of it, 100 gallons at a time. Now, some of these other trees you see are Hamlins. A lot of these trees are so damaged that the fruit is not getting sweet, so we haven't even bothered to come out and get it off the trees. It's not up to par. We cut most of the ones down that were really bad now, so the rest of these are going bad. So we're going to end up
Wow,
cutting
there's a
these
big
down.
orange tree.
Yeah, that's about an 18-year-old tree. This one up here on the right down here is probably our oldest tree. It's about 20. That's what they told me.
Which one?
This one right
Do
down
they
here.
have smaller oranges as they get older?
Not supposed to, no. You see all the green fruit on that tree and see how small the oranges are? That tells you that that tree's really suffering from root damage.
Now, if the tree stays healthy, what's the life expectancy for it?
25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said this one's here, you think it's the
20.
oldest?
It's 20. That's what I was told. This one's 20.
What's that stuff some of those orange trees get?
Canker?
That's it.
Yeah, we've got some canker out here. We're not too worried about canker. It's not too bad anymore. This greening is bad. Really bad. That's more of a concern than anything.
And that's what that green stuff is?
The green stuff?
And the actual branch?
No, the yellow stuff in the leaves is a sign of greening. The canker looks like a sore. It's like right there. See it? Brown spot
Okay.
on that one leaf?
Yeah, I see.
That's a canker. That's the canker.
And what's like this stuff right here?
Oh, that's just moss.
Okay, that's okay.
Moss and fungus on that branch.
Now, could that kill a tree?
Nah, not really. No, it doesn't. I'm surprised there's moss on that tree. Moss doesn't grow too good on citrus trees for some reason, but that one's probably because the branches are bare. You know, and that's a result of the root damage. It's got a little some of it over here too, I noticed that. Huh. But the brown spots is the canker.
Okay.
Now, up here on the right are the lemon trees I was telling you about. I don't think you've probably ever seen a lemon quite like this.
Oh, look at that big one.
That's a lemon.
Those are lemons?
Yeah, that's a pomelo and a Meyer lemon crossed.
Oh, that's big.
It's huge.
Are they still just as good and juicy?
They're not as juicy, I don't think.
Very acidy?
But they taste like a lemon. Not quite as acidic. That's probably the pomelo side of them. Not quite as acidic.
Is that good, that lemon there?
It was green and it fell on the ground, so I cut it in half so you can see what it.
Well, there's another lemon there.
Got
Yellow. Is that good?
The yellow one's just about ready. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till. I always wait till they fall off,
Oh,
and then I grab them.
okay.
They stay yellow for a pretty good while.
And you sell those here?
No, we just talk about them.
Oh, okay.
That's we don't have enough, you know.
Oh, I was going to ask you if I can have the one. Okay.
Well, you know, what I do is I take them up front, and then they just kind of talk about them up there too.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
if
Well, you don't
want-
have too many
If
of those.
there's
anyway.
one up there, yeah, you can maybe talk them into letting you have it.
You know,
But I don't think there's any up there right now.
I've seen them around.
You may have somewhere. There's a few of them around. This is a Honeybell tree. Only thing bad about this tree is they're real sensitive to the greening, and especially when it gets to this size. You can see the really light yellow blotching of the leaves. That fruit is really juicy, but it's got no flavor.
Oh, isn't that something?
No flavor.
They look nice, though.
Yeah, they're nice, but no flavor.
So this will go to the factory and get squeezed?
We will probably, I might come out and pick it and feed it to the cows.
Oh, okay.
We won't
They'll
let it
enjoy
go
it.
to waste, but yeah.
So they eat skin and all.
They eat everything. A cow will eat anything.
Hey, no banana trees around here?
Not around here. But there's a lot of them in Florida.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, we got a bunch of people picking, yeah. I was wondering what I was seeing white. Seeing white out through the trees. Those are people picking.
They let you pick here?
Yeah, you can come out and pick. Sure can. I haven't had as many chores because they've been letting people just come out and pick, which is okay. I mean, I have a lot to do anyway, but
Is this another one of those lemon trees?
this is the best of the lemon trees I have.
That's
And it's
still
got all the stages on it. The bloom that's been pollinated is back there on the bottom, on the back. Then there's a little small one right here. Pull up a little bit. See the real small one?
Green.
That's going to be the youngest one. Then right above it, those two are going to be the next ones. Then the
And
one
then
up
these.
here is going to be the next one. And then you got another green one that's pretty fat and big right there. That's probably in the finishing stages. And these three over here are just about ready.
Yeah, and then you got the little buds right there.
Yeah, and then you got little buds coming out for more blooms.
So what kind of lemon is this called again?
Ponderosa lemon.
Ponderosa, okay.
Yeah, it's big lemon. Means big, large lemon.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to have 5 picking crews, but since we've lost so many trees out here in our state and in our county, and that means a reduction of fruit, we don't need that many crews anymore, so we just have 1 crew now.
Wow.
That does all our picking. Yeah. You see all these bins right back here? We used to have enough fruit out there that we would send a lot of these bins out with the crews, and that's how we kept them. And they bring us full bins, and we give them empty bins. So we had to have quite a few bins.
How much does one of those weigh, empty and full?
90 pounds empty, about 600 pounds full. It costs $200 a piece, brand new.
Wow.
It lasts for years and years and years.
So the profit's worth it though, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you got a lot of fruit, but we've got all these just sitting idle, so there's not enough fruit out there. This is our receiving area for the fruit. Looks like it came in, maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't.
Is that where they do the fruit and everything, right?
This is where we receive it from the crew, and then the machine back there, that's where we wash it and wax it.
You're not running that now.
No, we don't have any fruit.
Oh, okay. Maybe one time.
Yeah.
You come back.
Yeah, you might have to come back.
Oh no, we'll come back here.
All
I
right.
like this.
Okay.
Now what are these for? Planting anything?
Yeah, that's what we used to grow strawberries in, but you can plant anything. We're going to plant some green beans up here.
Yeah, I think they love
We're going to plant some green beans up here.
Okay.
Okay.
Michael,
You guys?
can he introduce himself?
Can you just briefly introduce yourself again?
My name is Doc Holiday.
Doc Holiday.
Pretty cool.
Nice
Nice to
meeting you.
meet you.
Nice to meet
Enjoyed
you.
it.
Thank you.
We did.
You guys
It was
learn something?
Yeah.
Very educational.
All right, good. And
Thank
don't
you.
forget to try the ice cream.
Oh, we're going to.
We will.
We're going to. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. Bye.